Hi everyone, and welcome back to Easy Cooking with Linda B. Bob and I have been invited to our friend's house for Thanksgiving. The hostess, however, she cannot eat any items or product with gluten in it. So I am making a gluten-free dessert, and I'm going to show you how I put it together. When my son was in elementary school, all the parents and teachers put together a cookbook like this one here. And it has a lot of great recipes that I'm going to work with, and I have worked with in the past. They are so good. But the dessert I want to make is actually a dessert for lemon bars. But instead of lemon, I'm going to use pomegranate juice, and I'm going to make this all gluten-free. So to make this dessert gluten-free, I am using this product right here. And in it is a blend of rice flour, potato starch, pea fiber, tapioca starch, and xanthan gum. Xanthan gum being the stabilizer. So, for those of you who haven't worked with gluten-free products, this one says 1 cup of gluten-free, or GF, flour is equal to 1 cup of all-purpose flour or regular flour. So that's what I will be doing, because the recipe calls for 1 cup of all-purpose, but I'm going to also use 1 cup of the gluten-free. All right, I have measured out 1 cup of gluten-free flour. I'm going to put that in the bowl. What I'm doing here is making the crust for the bars. The recipe also calls for 1/4 cup of confectioner sugar. Not a lot of moisture in the air. Things are not sticking. That's great. And also a 1/2 cup of melted butter. Now what I will do is stir these together until it forms like a dough. Just have to mix it very well. Now the dough is ready. I'm going to put it into my 8x8 glass dish. And I'm going to use just the bottom of my cup to start pressing it in to form a dough. And once I get this all put together, I'm going to put it in my 350-degree oven for 15 minutes. And I'll show you what that looks like, and I'll show you the next step. Okay, the crust is done. It has come out of the oven, and here's what it looks like. It's all formed, it's all put together as one dough, but not completely cooked through yet. Now the next thing I need to do is I'm going to make the topping that goes on the bars. So I'm going to start out with 2 beaten eggs in my bowl. And then it calls for 1 cup of sugar, because pomegranate juice is a sweet tart, but it's a little more tart than sweet. So I'm going to put that in with the egg. And it also calls for, let's see, is it baking powder? So it also calls for 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Wow, nothing's sticking, which is great. Also 2 tablespoons of the gluten-free flour. And the recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of lemon, but I'm not using lemon, I'm using the pomegranate, as I said before, but I'm going to use 3. And I'm using this pomegranate juice. It's really very good. And this will give it color. It'll look festive for this time of year. So now, mix it together. You want to mix it very well. That looks really good right there. Now, I'm going to pour this right on top. Okay. So we're going to put this in the oven for an additional 20 minutes. And then when it's done, I will show you what it looks like. Okay, the bars have come out of the oven. They are cooling. I don't want to put the powdered sugar on it yet until it's cold. But see how it's nicely cracked? I don't know if you could see that. Bob's going to zoom in for you. You don't really get the color of the pomegranate, but you will definitely get the flavor. Okay, so the bars have cooled. Now I want to top it with some confectioner sugar. So I'm going to use my strainer here. And I'm just going to tap this all over. Looks like snow. You can't do this when it's hot because the sugar will just melt right into it. And now what I'm going to do is cut it straight down the middle. Ooh, it's cutting beautifully. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll finish cutting this and then we'll come in for the taste test. So here are the bars, and I have to tell you though that these are not the bars I made yesterday. It was a failure, and I'll tell you why. My ingredients were off. So I made a new batch today and they came out perfect. So before I taste it, I want to share something with you. My sweet friend Karen from Alabama, Karen Jones Food and Family, came out with her first cookbook. And it's 101 delicious recipes. And every page has a recipe, just like that. So if you're interested, check out her channel, and I'll list a link to her channel below in my description box. And you could check out her channel, and if you're interested, you could get her book. It's really wonderful. She's a wonderful cook. And I will also list my correction ingredients in the description box below. Okay, now it's time for a taste test. Here's the bar. Came out beautiful. The crust is perfect on the bottom. So now I'm going to taste it. That is really good. I don't mind the gluten-free flour, it's hard to say. And I also added a little bit of lemon to the pomegranate to brighten it up. These are really very good and healthy. So I hope you enjoyed my video. I want to wish each and every one of you a very happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I have many more recipes to show you in the future. And remember, enjoy life and never stop learning. Bye now.